This is Ashley with Status Coup. I am live on the ground with John Farina in front of the New York Public Library and a We the People sign where people have gathered just a few days ahead of Earth Day to protest the illegal detainment and deportation of immigrants and pro-Palestinian student organizers. There will also be protests against climate policy and the dismantlement of climate policy while the climate crisis continues to unfold. So John Farina and I are on the ground here for Status Coup, and in just a minute we're going to walk into the crowd and show you guys who's out here and see if we can talk to some people. So stay with us and follow us on this live stream today while we are in New York City covering the protest. So already you can see that there are tons of signage dealing with both Earth Day, climate crisis, and deportations of students like Mahmoud Khalil. Okay, and John and I are crossing over to the front of the New York Public Library right now. And as you can see, there is a pretty large crowd out here today. So there's a sign right in front with the names of several people who have been detained and deported illegally. So there's Kilmar Mahmoud, Andre Rumesa, and Mohsen, who have been some high-profile illegal detainments. We're with Status Coup News. It's called Status. Would you guys want to do an interview to just say why you're here today? Okay.
I'm just curious. I'm always curious.
That is fair.
Move as close as we can to the sidewalk, please. People burning in hell, and we know their names.
Indicted yesterday.
Do that now. Excuse me, we saw your Luigi hat. We're with Status Coup News.
Yes,
would you like to do an interview with us about why you're here today? So why are you here?
Well, for numerous reasons, but mostly we have to end the basic encroachment of fascism upon this city and this country.
Absolutely. Is there something in particular that brought you out, whether that be climate change or the deportations?
First of all, they gave me the day off. Fools!
That is a good reason.
Second of all, it's a beautiful day. And yeah, all those things. Climate change is very important. But the most important thing is this guy right here. They have already determined that he is guilty. They've already determined they're going to give him the death penalty. And that's not the way that the United States Constitution works.
Absolutely. So you've been following that case very carefully, I assume.
Just a little.
Okay. And do you feel like that is kind of just combined with all of these other things? Like none of these things that are happening right now are happening in a vacuum.
We have an encroaching dictatorship in a constitutional democracy. The way you do it is a slippery slope. One lick of the ice cream cone, another one. Soon they've eaten the whole thing. That's the way a dictator takes charge. Luigi is just one step of the way that they're doing that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the analogy to an ice cream cone. Any other thoughts for Status Coup viewers before we let you protest?
They did a good job in hiring you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
Out of trouble.
They are get into good trouble. Have a good one. All right. So we're going to move around the crowd a little bit more and try to talk to more people.
Try and get more med.
See, John and I are in the middle of the crowd now.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
What is he saying up there?
Justice! Shut it down! Justice!
Shut it down! Pardon me?
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Sort of,
Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Justice!
Excuse me?
You're looking to the left, look to the right.
We're with Status Coup News. Would you mind doing an interview and telling us why you're here? I see you have a sign that is multi-purpose for this protest. Would you mind explaining it?
The sign I did at the last minute, but it's true. I'm just horrified at the disappearances that are happening, the students whose visas are getting revoked, the innocent man that's in El Salvador that they're refusing to bring back. And we're going to be out on the streets as often as necessary to shut this down. It's just a nightmare.
I agree, and I appreciate all of that. And I also notice it's a couple, Earth Day is Tuesday, so April 22nd, so your sign, Melt Ice is also...
Over there, I did this as I was running out. Someone over there has Melt Ice, not the Earth, which kind of covers it all.
No, that is great. Is there anything else that you want to add about the deportations and what's brought you out here?
Everyone needs to stand up against it because it's not going to stop unless we make them stop. They're doing everything they can to defy the laws. They're messing with, I don't know if I can say fucking, but they're fucking with the law firms and not allowing them to do their jobs. So, and they're going to keep coming for, one day it's the immigrants and the next day, who knows, so we just have to keep fighting.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Is there something in particular that like you have personally been affected by, or is it just you're a human being and this is all kind of horrifying?
I don't, except for the fact that I live right next to Columbia. I'm horrified by the capitulation. I'm horrified that they let ICE take their students. I feel like anytime anyone gives into this bully, he's just going to keep asking for more and more and more. It's extortion.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that is how a bully works.
Oh, I mean, I am Jewish. I am against what's happening in Gaza. But this whole anti-Semitism thing, it's a Trojan horse that they're using to tear down all the various institutions. And it's really dangerous. It's fascism, and we just have to keep fighting.
Absolutely. And at this point, there hasn't actually been any concrete evidence that there is a anti-Semitic movement, brewing at Columbia or any other university.
Of course not. I mean, there's nothing. That's why I'm saying it's a Trojan horse. I'm sure at some of the protests there was, a person here and there that, maybe crossed the line, but defending Gaza and standing up against genocide is not anti-Semitism. You can be against Zionism or Netanyahu and their policies and the genocide without being anti-Semitic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else that you would want to add for Status Coup viewers?
I don't think so. I think I pretty much said it all, and I'm losing my voice.
Well, I won't make you talk anymore. Thank you so much. I appreciate your insight. That was great. Of course, we will always be out here. Have a good one.
What is your organization?
So Status Coup is an independent outlet. We cover a lot of things like protests, rallies, like on-the-ground coverage of that kind of stuff. So I know our reporters before I started working here have been on the ground in places like Flint, covering the water crisis in Flint, so a lot of stuff like that.
Well, keep up the good work, because they're going after the journalists too.
They are, so thank you. We will be out here and keep going until we can. Thank you. Have a good one. All right, so John and I are going to keep walking around and keep doing some interviews while this protest is here in front of the New York Public Library.
Down, down for deportation! Down, down for deportation! Up for liberation! Down, down for deportation! Down, down for deportation! Up with liberation!
There is a great sign over here that says J.D. Vance loves his crusty couch. Next to Trump is a loser, Elon is a beta.
Up with liberation! Down, down for deportation! 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 Up for liberation! Down, down with deportation! Up with liberation! Down, down with deportation!
Excuse me? We're with Status Coup News. We're just going around talking to people about why they came out to protest today. Would you guys mind talking with us for a minute?
Let's do it. Let's do it together.
Cool.
You can do it.
Happy to interview you guys both at the same time. So your sign says, immigrants make America better. Is that why you guys are out here today specifically to protest the illegal deportations and detainments?
I feel like so much is going on that I think we were just talking about like anti-fascism in general, but as I am a child of refugees, and so immigration is a very important area to me, for sure.
Absolutely. And what about you?
Yeah, I think fundamentally what is most frustrating right now is what feels like a lack of empathy. Like if it's not affecting me, then I shouldn't care about it. And I think that this is like us trying to energize ourselves and encourage each other that if it could affect any of us at any time, so we should all be out here for each other. And Trump doesn't care about anyone. His administration just cares about himself, themselves, and power. So that's not the way we operate.
Absolutely. And I mean, it seems like we are all human beings, so we should care what's happening. You know, aside from politics, there are people who are, being taken away from their families. And as you said, you're a child of refugees, so you will know what the personal affect of that actually is. So do you have any other thoughts on, just in general, the feeling that there is a lack of empathy right now?
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like, as a second generation American, it is like a closer issue to my heart for sure. And I think there is a very strong lack of empathy right now in the world, and we need to, like Kyle said, support each other and be out here for each other and realize that, one group is being targeted, and then soon it'll be the next, and then the next, and then it'll eventually make its way to everybody who's against what the administration is standing for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess I would be curious. So there's hundreds of people out here right now. I'm not sure exactly how many, but at least hundreds. What do you guys think happens after this? So there's been a few major protests, especially in the city, in this location. What do we all do after to kind of carry this momentum forward?
That's a great question. I don't have a solid answer for that. I think the protests are one way of keeping people energized and keeping people engaged in what's happening. It's obviously not enough. I do think that there are some, we're in one group called Worth Fighting For, which is, maybe you're familiar with it. It's based in Queens and Brooklyn.
I'm not actually.
Okay, it's based in Queens and Brooklyn, and then also we're building up the Manhattan part of it too. And that group tries to connect people to local activism resources to stay aware not only of protests, but immediate action, stay engaged in elections. Yeah, exactly. So I think that local community activism, pick 2 or 3 things you care about and just be involved on a daily or weekly basis. Everyone can't do everything, so I think the only way this is going to operate is if we have sopranos and tenors, and everyone needs to just pick a part and fight for that, because protests are not going to be sufficient.
Absolutely. Are you a singer? Is that
yeah, not professionally, but I do like singing, yeah.
Okay.
But both of us are public health doctors as well, and so this directly affects not only, she's from an immigrant family, I'm not from an immigrant family, but it affects all of our patients on a daily basis, because we serve mostly low-resource communities, a lot of immigrant communities, a lot of undocumented people, so it's changing the face of the way that they interface with the healthcare system significantly, so yeah, it's professional and personal.
That makes a lot of sense. I was at one of the Luigi Mangione rallies, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago now, and I was surprised that the majority of people there actually seemed to be healthcare professionals, and they were, concerned about their patients and their patients' access to health. So it became something that was a rally, for healthcare reform rather than anything. Luigi Mangione became the catalyst for that.
No, I agree. I think that we shouldn't. It's unfortunate that we're in a place where violence seems like the only answer for some people, but also you can understand what got us to this point. People are upset, people are not having access to care. It really is a both and situation. It's not yeah, I don't know. It's a complex situation. I think it deserves thought, and I'm glad that it's catalyzing some people to be thoughtful about the screwed up system.
Absolutely. Do you guys have any other thoughts before I let you get back to the protest on why you're here today, or anything else that you would want to share with people? Okay, well, thank you guys so much for talking with us. Enjoy your protest day.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. All right, we are going to continue talking to people and showing you what's happening at the protest.
We're gonna do the people's fight. That means you are wanted.
We are here. We are here for the immigrants. We are here for our seniors. We are here for the homeless. We are here
All right, John and I are moving, and we're going to try to get closer to the speakers.
We're standing up.
We're standing up
For clean hair
for clean air
and clean water.
and clean water.
But most of all, we are here
We are here
for each other.
for each other.
We will not be silenced.
We will not be silenced.
We will not hide.
We will not hide.
We will stand up, fight back.
We will stand up, fight back.
Right now,
Right now,
we are under attack.
we are under attack.
But we say,
Stand up,
fight back.
stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
We are under attack from every side. But we will stand up. And we will fight back
And we will fight back
for Mother Earth.
for Mother Earth.
Right now,
Right now,
hold on. I want to say a big thank you to Comptroller Flatlander and his team that got me through the crowd. I couldn't have done it without him. New York runs on immigrant labor. From our babies to our elders to big restaurants, hotels, nursing homes, and all the many things that we enjoy in this city. New York loves immigrants.
New York loves immigrants.
It is the immigrants who makes this city move.
It is the immigrants who make this city move.
This vibrant city. This diverse city. With delicious food from all over the world. We will not let this administration the people of this city. You know we have a remedy for you. We're gonna remove you. And the recipe for removing Adams and anyone who fight against us is to stand up, fight back.
Would you like a photo?
Okay. This administration is putting out a false narrative on immigrants, criminalization of immigrants around. Trump and big oil are pillaging the earth, driving climate collapse, and forcing millions to flee their homes. Meanwhile, fossil fuel millionaires are cashing in while our planet burns. Droughts, fires, hurricanes, and food shortages are their legacy. Today, many of the wild animals and places we love are facing unprecedented threats and pushback. Some wildlife, they're pushing back some wildlife toward extinction. Bees, birds, butterflies, bisons, turtles, fishes, just to name a few, are all at the risk. And so we are here. We are depending on each and every one of us to help keep their habitats safe. We must protect them from the billionaires and politicians. They creep in the night and take over their habitat. Many criminals are here in the city living among us. We will find them. We will expose them. We will call their name. We will stand up, fight back.
Well, just go back.
I need a meeting to come to the floor. Okay.
Where she is?
Okay. Sorry. No speakers afterwards.
We're from Status Coup, and I saw your sign and was very curious to hear more about it. Would you mind explaining what the sign means for us?
Okay, well, it's kind of rhetorical, but since we're in New York, why make it easy? But basically,
nothing can be easy here, so that fits.
No, I mean, basically, the people have trouble with the first two lines. It's like, who must do this? When in fact, it's sort of splitting hairs rhetorically in terms of like democracy. Yeah, you voted for him, but no one votes for authoritarianism. That's a very different thing. And it's just not something that we can say, oh yes, like playing Parcheesi. You move your men a little bit, okay, you win, but you don't get to like toss the board onto the floor.
Sure. Do you personally have anyone in your life who maybe did vote for Trump and is upset about how things are turning out?
No one's admitting it. I mean, I have a couple of relatives who might have. I have a couple of colleagues. I'm a lawyer. A couple of colleagues have, it's like, screw that forgiving student loan stuff. And I'm like, okay, you're fine. But no one votes for this baloney. That's basically my point, sort of drawn out.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind my asking, what kind of law do you practice, and how has all of this affected your ability to practice? Because obviously there's been these high-profile attempts to kind of neuter law firms who are doing things like protecting immigrants.
I'm a solo practitioner, for one thing. I don't have anybody's butt to kiss. Yet. However, what I worry about is a society where we're paying for everything, including favorable verdicts, enough Trump appointees, who knows. State courts are a little bit shielded from this a hair, but they're still not necessarily clean and dandy. Federal courts, those are lifetime appointments. So far, I've been very lucky. I deal with judges who believe in this. That's what makes me do what I do. Because it's not perfect, but it definitely veers in the right direction.
For sure. And, with all of the stuff that's going on with the illegal deportations and detainments in particular, how do you feel about, the idea that the Trump administration is essentially just ignoring court orders to bring people back, to not deport?
It's like Andrew Jackson to the max. It's like he didn't actually say John Marshall has made his decision, let him enforce it. It was something to the effect of, Georgia does not have the mandate, etc., etc. So the Trail of Tears happened. This is many times the Trail of Tears. It's, plain loads of tears. I mean, privatized concentration camps in El Salvador. Basically, he's going to do it, ignore it, until enough of us say, no, we're going to turn this country into a wall-to-wall Maidan Square. This is democracy too. It's not just voting. It's not just procedural maneuvers, which Chuck Schumer has to understand. I mean, he's made that way. He can't help it.
I mean, on that note, I spoke with another lawyer a couple days ago about all of this stuff, and he was basically saying, it's time for all of us to be in the streets. It's time for labor leaders, for everyone who's involved in climate movements, all of that, for us to be out in the streets. Do you, one, think that there will be enough people to get out here to bring that message to people like Chuck Schumer? And do you think that people like Chuck Schumer have it in them to actually do anything materially?
Well, my feeling about Chuck Schumer is that he's got to do what he's got to do. But we can't, you can't expect people to he can't make category errors. Some things have to be done the way he does them. Some things have to be done the way we're doing them. And as to whether enough people can get the message out, it's like what Zhou Enlai said when they asked him what he thought about the French Revolution. Too early to tell. So yeah, it's too early to tell.
And as far as, if we can get more people in the streets, though, as you said, it's too early to tell. What happens beyond being out in the streets? What else can any of us do? What else should any of us be doing to fight back against fascism and authoritarianism?
You keep saying no till the ammunition's live. It's not live. We're out here as much as we can be. It's basically you push where you can push. In every spot, every square inch, or square millimeter. We're doing metric now. The hell with these sticks in the muds. Metric.
I appreciate that. The protest movement will be measured in metric now.
Right. Well, we're going back to Reagan when he took the solar panels off the White House.
Absolutely. And that was, I wonder how many people know that happened, that, Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House as soon as Reagan was elected. He took them down. And there's, if you go on the internet, there's plenty of video of that happening, very, dramatic dismantling of, symbolically of climate policy. And now we are how many, 40 years beyond that, and we're still fighting for the same things.
And you have all these fossil fuel companies who know damn well what's happening, but they're dead set on not having pointy heads tell them how to deal with it. So it's basically, it's not policy. It's about what kind of power structure is going to be operative. And all you can do is say no over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Any other final thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers?
Final thoughts. If you put that mic in front of me, I will say something else. So, this is just the devil's candy for me.
I appreciate that. I mean, we can hang and talk for as long as you like, as long as you have thoughts to share.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
All right. Well, we won't tempt you. I will let you get back to the protest. But thank you so much. This has been really insightful, and I appreciate this. Absolutely. Bye. All right. The protest continues, and John and I are going to continue talking to people. If you are watching this live stream of John and I on the ground in front of the New York Public Library covering a protest against illegal deportations and detainments of immigrants, as well as continuing climate collapse, please do like, subscribe, share the stream so that other people can watch. And if you're able to, please consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup so we can keep bringing you reporting on the ground.
Another memo over there.
That is a really great sign. So on one side you have thumb wars, not trade wars, due process for all.
Open a pathway, please.
I'm
Thumb war? I'm thumb war with you.
Can we?
Thumb war is?
I do. I remember that from childhood. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Here, wait. I think we have to come this way. Okay. The thumb war off. That was very, very short-lived. But the other side of this woman's sign says, Tim Petty would be ashamed of this free fall, which is good.
March is starting now.
Okay, and I guess the march is starting now, so John and I are going to try to get to the front of the march.
Move that way.
What are we doing?
Okay, so the march is moving from in front of the New York Public Library.
All right, let's just go down to the street. When they put it really different.
Everybody, please clear the stairs.
Going, we're moving.
The march already started.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the march has already started. John and I were with the speakers in front of the New York Public Library, but it looks like there's already a march making its way down.
Copy that. Let me see. Can we get down this way?
I don't know. Can we jump over?
No, we can't.
We're stuck.
There's no other way down.
All right, John and I are trying to figure out how to get out of the crowd to the march.
When do we want it? Now! When do we want? When do we want it? Now! When do we want? When do we want it? Now! Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down with deportation! Down with deportation! Up with liberation! Up with liberation! Down with deportation!
All right, John and I are still making our way off the front of the New York Public Library area into the street. We're near 5th Avenue and 42nd. And if you are watching, please don't forget to share this live stream so that we can bring you guys more coverage of the protest today in New York City, leaving the front of the New York Public Library. Okay, looks like John and I are getting out of this particular grouping of people. Okay, we are on the street now. We're on the corner of 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. And it doesn't really look like the march is moving right now. Okay, there's caution tape to, I guess, hold in the protest, and people are just kind of crossing it. Okay, thank you guys for bearing with us while we try to get to the main part of the march. John and I are on the ground right now on 5th Avenue, where the march against illegal deportations and detainments of immigrants and pro-Palestinian organizers and students is taking place, as well as against unmitigated climate change just a few days before Earth Day, which is this coming Tuesday. There are hundreds of people here. I'm bad at estimating crowd sizes, so I would just say hundreds. There's probably more than that. I have a hard time telling. But there's a lot of people, lots of good signs, lots of good energy, and as John had predicted, it's a pretty big crowd out here today. So we're going to keep walking through and showing you what's happening on the ground in New York City right now.
No fascists! No pharaohs! 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 No fascists!
If you're watching, please like, subscribe, follow Status Coup News so that we can bring you more on-the-ground reporting of things like this protest today in New York City. And if you can, please do consider becoming a paid member so that we can do more of this coverage that matters for working people. And if you can't hear what the protesters are chanting right now, they're saying, "Whose streets? Our streets." And there are quite a few people out on the streets of New York City right now.
Yeah. Let me go. Let's go in the front.
Nancy!
Guys,
Tighten up the group!
All right, and John and I are right in the front of the march right now. We are just about to cross over East 43rd Street, going down Madison. And one of the signs in the front here says "No borders on a dying planet," which is a good summation of why people are out here today. There's a woman in a wheelchair with a sign saying, "Republicans are destroying everything that makes America great, good, and safe." Okay, so John is telling me that there are definitely tens of thousands of people out again today, so it is a very big march today.
It's kind of a revolutionary-looking mouthpiece you've got there, isn't it? I've got my International Brigade shirt on from the Spanish Civil War.
You want to talk to him?
Would you want to do an interview for us? We're with Status Coup News, and do you want to tell us about your shirt?
Wearing my International Brigades, the people from all over the world came to help the Spaniards fight fascism. We may have to ask them all to come and help us.
Do you think that when that call is put out, we will have enough friends left that will come to our aid?
I hope the American people will.
That is a good answer. Is there anything else you want to share about why you're out here today?
I'm here for the same reason everybody is, to get rid of them.
That's fair. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
What I want to do is I want to stand.
Okay, so John and I are in the middle of the march. John is getting a good shot of everyone, all the protesters, as they are walking past us, so you guys can kind of see the breadth of the march that's going down Madison Avenue right now.
You want to broadcast?
If you see anybody protest, something else.
No Keats! No Trumps! No fascists! No Trumps! No Keats!
Excuse me, we're with Status Coup News. Would you mind interviewing us and letting us know why you're out here today? Why are you out here today?
The Republicans are destroying everything about America. It's just the entertainment. But this is like the Republicans voted against Social Security when it was created, and they've been trying to destroy it ever since, and now he's doing that for them. They wanted this tax cut, and they're hiding that, for their multimillionaire donors, and they're hiding behind him, but in the background they're doing it. And they're not complaining about, remember when Obama wore a tan suit?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was a big horror, but, it actually sending thousands of people to attack the Capitol, the Republicans were fine with that. So it's just heartbreaking. This is a great country. The majority of Americans do not. Trump there was no mandate. The Republicans lost seats in the House. They lost most of the purple state seats, and the other one was so close it was thrown to an automatic recount. And the only reason Sherrod Brown got kicked out was crypto money, 20 million crypto money against him at the last minute. So the Republican, it's not Trump. It's the Republican Party. They're allowing this to happen. And of course, just if someone's M13, accuse him in court, right? And instead they're making it like Democrats are supporting criminals, which we're not. We're supporting Americans. In fact, I don't know what this says.
My people were refugees too, is what this woman's shirt says.
Yeah, my grandparents came here, and my grandfather used to say it's the greatest country on earth. And in my entire adult life, Republicans have done nothing constructive for people who work that Democrats have opposed, whereas the list of what Democrats have supported that Republicans have opposed is very long. And then the Republicans get people angry, and they misdirect their anger at, it was commies, it was welfare queens, it was, one after the other. Now it's people who come here for a better life, And I also have to say I'm a scientist. They're destroying medical research in this country. They are just, the Republican law in 1924 that pretty much shut the border and trapped all the Jews in Europe to be incinerated. I studied the 1880 to 1924 immigrant families, 50 Nobel laureates, and those were the people the Republicans hated so much that they closed our border. So, I'm out here to protest the Republicans, really.
I appreciate all of that. And, to kind of and your point, the idea that we are keeping out so many people who, one, are trying to just start a better life here, which is the promise of this country. And who knows who those people are? They might be people who, like you said, go on to be Nobel Prize winning laureates, and we are kicking them out or making it so that this is not an attractive place for anyone to come to. I don't know who would actually want to immigrate here right now. I certainly wouldn't want to. It doesn't seem very welcoming.
And there's that beautifully praised, brilliant young woman scientist who got put in a jail and kept from her work from Harvard, and everyone says she's so talented. So she's a refugee from Putin's Russia, and yeah, the other thing is that just think about, there are people who sit around and complain and watch Fox News, but there are also people who put themselves through so much believing there's something better. And those are the kind of people who you'd expect to be innovators. And it's like immigration selects for creative people who don't accept what's wrong but seek something better. And there are so many wonderful immigrants in the country right now, you know, it's just terrible to think that they are being attacked, you know.
Absolutely. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers? This has been a really insightful interview.
I could probably go on for a long time, but
you can go on for as long as you like. I am listening.
Well, I guess, you know, there's so many good people in this country, and then there are people who've been misdirected. Their frustration at their lives has been misdirected away from...
Sorry, there's some drums happening right now, so we're going to move. Actually, the march is right behind us, so we're gonna start moving a little ahead so people don't get run over.
Something? Or...
you can find us at StatusCoup.
ST?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're going to move ahead a little bit. I don't want anyone to get run over, but that was an extremely insightful and wonderful interview.
Let people know where the march is, like where we are.
Okay, so John and I are walking down Madison Avenue. We just crossed over 45th. Luckily, John is taller than I am and can actually see the signs right now. And the march is continuing on. There are thousands of people here. I think we last said that there are tens of thousands of people here. So a lot of people out on the streets in New York City to protest both climate change, the continued climate collapse that is going on while the Trump administration dismantles climate policy and any kind of research that would help us to mitigate the effects of climate change. And there are many, many people out here who are protesting the illegal deportation and detainment of student organizers like Mahmoud Khalil. And again, people who are out here protesting the planet continuing to be on fire. Okay, so the march is crossing over 46th Street right now, or at least where within the march John and I are. Hey, excuse me, guys. We saw your sign, your banner, Jews Against Deportation. Would you mind talking with Status Coup News about why you're out here with the giant banner?
I am not the person to do that. The one in the orange pink backpack.
Okay, thank you so much. Hey, we wanted to ask you guys why you're out here today with the Jews Against Deportation sign.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this. So.
Okay. Hi. We're with Status Coup News. We're trying to get a picture of why people are out here protesting today.
I'm just not very good at this kind of thing.
Oh no, that's okay.
We have anybody that's
we appreciate it. We appreciate the sign.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're great.
Happy to talk to any of them. Okay.
Climate movement.
Okay, we will talk to them. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right, we are going to talk to someone from this group and see why they're out here. So you guys, someone from your group that you guys are with, that you would be the people to talk to about why you're all out here today with the Jews for Deportation banner. So do you guys have any thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup?
Sure, with JFridge. We're a Jewish Youth Climate Movement. We're a national youth movement, a Jewish youth movement across the country. And we're here specifically because this is also for climate justice. This march is for climate justice, and we're here because climate justice is so important. And I think especially with this administration, I think there's a lot of a loss of hope. And so especially this march is going to be passing Chubb one of the Chubb headquarters. And we're here to for
those of us, the viewers who don't know, what is Chubb headquarters?
Chubb is an insurer, and they specifically insure a lot of fossil fuel projects. Actually, there was a really big win. I think a lot of people are really feeling hopeless. Chubb actually just stopped insuring the EACOP, which is the East African Crude Oil Pipeline. So we're here to call on them to stop insuring the Cameron LNG, which is a liquefied natural gas export that's going to be renewed in June, and we want them to say no. But we're also here because climate justice is migrant justice, and that so many of our families and friends are being kicked off, are getting kicked out of the country, either because they're families, they're just workers, or they are people who are speaking out for justice. So we're here for all of that. That's why our Jewish Youth Climate Movement is here.
We really appreciate that. That's all great. And I would just say you guys are quite a bit younger than I am, and I certainly feel the hopelessness as far as climate change goes, which is just kind of happening behind the scenes right now, right? Yeah. We're not really talking about it. Climate policy is being quietly dismantled while all of us have our eyes turned to the other millions of things that are happening. I guess I would ask from a perspective of someone who is much younger than I am, how do you guys cope with, the impending climate crisis and the sort of dismantling of democracy?
The Jewish Youth Climate Movement is not only an organization that fights for climate justice, but we build community across Jewish youth to especially talk about climate justice, but also to learn about how to make change. And by doing that, we have retreats. We have chapters called Klutzot, which means chapter, across the country. And we really believe that building community is so important, and solidarity is so important, because if you're alone, you're going to feel so hopeless. But with people, if you find people you can do this with, even if it's a group of friends, there's a lot less, you're not going to feel as hopeless. So finding community is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. John and I are going to continue walking around and talking to people. And right now, John and I at least, are crossing over 48th Street, still on Madison, and there are tens of thousands of people out here today protesting. And we want to welcome new paying Status Coup members, JB and Manuel. And if you can, please consider supporting Status Coup as a paying member for as low as $5 a month so we can continue covering these important protests on the ground. And you can do that at statuscoup.com/join. If you are just joining us on this live stream, this is Ashley with Status Coup, and John Farina and I are on the ground in New York City covering the protest just a few days before Earth Day against the continued climate collapse, as well as the illegal detainments and deportations of immigrants and especially pro-Palestinian organizers. And this comes just a few days after the most recent student detainment of Mohsen Madawi happened, a Columbia student who was heavily involved with the pro-Palestine movement. He was arrested by ICE during his citizenship exam in Vermont. And he said that he had been hiding out for weeks prior to that because he was scared that he would be picked up by ICE. He had also contacted Columbia administration to say that he felt unsafe, and Columbia University did nothing to protect their student. And again, he was arrested by ICE just a few days ago. And yes, on Thursday, Senator of Maryland Chris Van Hollen visited another immigrant who has been illegally detained and deported to El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He was illegally detained and disappeared to El Salvador alongside hundreds of other immigrants who have been deported without due process, despite Kilmar's having special protective status in this country. interview with Status Coup about your sign. With Status Coup. We're an independent outlet that covers protests, rallies, that kind of thing. So I'm just curious about your sign, which says "Stop playing with our planet, protect our future generations."
I just have to tell them.
All right, so we're going to catch up with. Well, we are cool, and we don't want to get you in any trouble. Hey. All right, I'm just going to turn around here so that John can actually get a good shot and we're not just moving around.
Not this side?
I would like both sides. Both sides are great, so I would love to hear more about both of them.
So basically we have here, the Trump kind of Charlie Chaplin, Hitler-esque.
I didn't even notice that. That's great.
Oh, yeah, just playing with comes from that, the great dictator. Just playing with the earth as if it's just something, not important, something you just play around with and kick around until you don't have it anymore. So there's a lot taken for granted. And this is something I'm a big birder, so I'm worried about the environment and the future of everything, all the plants and the bees and the birds. So there's not any, any caring, any love for the future. It's all now and it's all selfish. Me, him. So, and this also incorporates the importance of immigrants and what they do here. They're undervalued and they're very ignorant, our administration, what they represent and how they generate positivity, and there's not enough of that right now. An acknowledgement of the reality and the beauty of the immigrants and of the earth. So that's
absolutely, and I appreciate how much the sign kind of comments on the interrelatedness of these several crises. So it's you can't look at these things in a silo; they're all interconnected.
Yes, I agree, absolutely.
And it's kind of there are so many things that are happening that it's easy to forget that climate change is occurring while all of these things are kind of front and center. So you can't forget about that, because if we take our eyes off of it, we're going to wake up in, now, when we have a planet that is hotter than it's ever been and on fire, and we are not doing anything to stop it, or as you're saying, protect future generations.
Right. There's no acknowledgement of the reality of how everything's about big business and about profits and capitalism, but gone crazy in a way where the earth everything is about generating growth, and it's just not happening. And we won't be here. It doesn't matter how much green you have in your pocket.
For sure. There is that good saying, no jobs on a dead planet, and that is where we're rapidly headed.
Yeah, and I feel terribly for young people, and you can't ignore that. It's just, it's going to come and swallow everyone up.
Absolutely. Do you have any other thoughts about any of this for Status Coup viewers?
Thoughts about what?
Thoughts about any of this climate change, the Trump administration, any of the myriad crises we have?
I understand how his first on his agenda, leaving the Paris Accords, climate. We're like the leading producers of pollution, one of the leading, China in the world, and there's just no acknowledgement. You have to take responsibility for your actions, not duck from them.
Absolutely. And a place like China that, as has kind of been thrust into the center of discourse right now, that is where all of our things are produced. So it's not just, China is the biggest polluter. It's China is creating all of our, essentially, garbage there.
Yeah, it's definitely, like you said, we're all interconnected. We don't exist in isolation, and this president wants us to kind of exist without any interconnectedness whatsoever. He doesn't understand. He doesn't have the intellectual capacity to really understand what's going to happen, because he doesn't care. He doesn't have the capacity. So anyway.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you speaking with us. Of course. Have a good one. Okay, John and I are still walking around. We are walking down Madison Avenue still, and we are about to passing over 53rd right now. If you are following this live stream of John and I covering the protest in New York City today, please do like, subscribe, and follow to Status Coup News. And if you can consider becoming a paid member, please do. You can do that for as little as $5 a month so that we can be on the ground bringing you more coverage that matters to people. So please go to statuscoup.com/join.
This is Ashley.
Hi, I'm Madison. Nice to meet you.
See you around.
Musk have got to go. Trump and 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 Musk have got to go.
Jamin.
Trump and Musk have got to go.
Trump and Musk has got to go.
Yes. Right. If you can, let's get this cruiser across 56th Street on Madison Avenue, behind the line.
If you're just joining us, John Farina and I are on the ground covering the protest in New York City right now. We are at the front of the march that is making its way down Madison right now, crossing over 55th Street.
Free Palestine! 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 This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
There's cars honking, assumably in support of the protest as we make our way down Madison.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When free speech is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When the plane is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When free speech is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do?
If you are watching the live stream right now, you can see that there is a younger protester manning the bullhorn right now as we make our way across 56th Street down Madison.
Say, what do we do? When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When free speech is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the plane is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. Say, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Say, what do we do?
This way is
we're not totally sure which way the march is going to go now that we've hit 57th, but to our left is Trump Tower, so it's possible the march will be headed that way.
Stay there.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! When
march is moving again. So as John predicted, we are headed down 57th now. If you are just joining us on this live stream, this is Ashley with Status Coup, and I'm here on the ground with John Farina, where tens of thousands of people are marching down 57th Street now to protest the illegal detainment and deportation of immigrants and pro-Palestinian organizers by the Trump administration, while the climate crisis continues to accelerate and the planet is hotter than it's ever been. So for people who are watching the live stream and want some background on why
they closed off, they barricaded the street that leads to Trump Tower.
Okay, so John is telling me that the street that leads to Trump Tower has actually been barricaded. So if you're watching the live stream, you can see there is a line of NYPD, and the march is not going to be able to get any closer to Trump Tower. So the march is currently stopped in front of 5th Avenue, going down 57th. And for people who are watching the live stream who need more context and background for why there are so many people out here today, April 22nd, so this Tuesday, is Earth Day. So this is partially a climate protest, as well as a protest against all of the student and entertainments. The most recent illegal detainment and potential deportation of a student organizer, so a pro-Palestinian organizer, was Mosa Madawi, a student at Columbia who was heavily involved with the pro-Palestine movement. He was arrested by ICE just last week during his citizenship exam in Vermont. And again, he had said that he had been hiding out for weeks prior to this because he was worried that he would get picked up by ICE. Also, this last week, Senator of Maryland Chris Van Hollen visited Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who had been illegally detained and disappeared to El Salvador alongside hundreds of other immigrants who have been deported without due process. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has special protective status in this country, and they've said that his deportation to El Salvador, where he's from, was due to an administrative error, and still they're defying court orders to bring him back.
No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. Come join us. Come take a picture.
Very good. It was very inspirational.
Royal life.
You guys have been doing a wonderful job.
Interview with that family.
KKK, no fascist USA.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA.
Excuse me? We see you're out here with your daughter. I'm with Status Coup. We were wondering if we could talk to you about why you're out here with your daughter today.
I appreciate democracy and having it, and I feel like it is.
That is a very good reason.
Under threat right now.
I appreciate it. And is there any reason you felt like you should be bringing your daughter out here specifically to participate in the protest?
You know, she's learning about government right now, and I feel like this is a great way to take the things she's learning at school and apply them to real life. And I would like her to have democracy as well. And so we're trying to get her involved.
That's great. Do you mind if I ask a question of your daughter? Okay. If you don't mind, how are you feeling about your first protest? Are you having a fun day out here?
Kind of, but it's also very hot.
It is very hot. She's right. It's quite hot out today. But other than that, you're having a good day?
Yes.
Great. This is a good way for her to be learning about government. So thank you so much for talking with us. We appreciate it. Bye.
Again, there's no other outlets, no networks. I haven't seen any, have you?
No, I haven't. John just pointed out that there's literally nobody else out here. There are no other outlets out here covering. I see one person with a camera ahead of us. I don't know what outlet they are with, but I haven't seen any of the major outlets. So corporate media is, as usual, dropping the ball and not covering things that actually matter.
No Trump! Stacey Abrams! State of Georgia! Yeah, baby! Yeah! No Trump! No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA! 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 No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA!
If you're watching, please like, subscribe, and follow Status Coup for more on-the-ground coverage of protests and all the things that matter. And if you can, please do consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup News for as little as $5 a month, and you can do that at statuscoup.com/join. Okay, it looks like the march is headed into Central Park. Okay. So it looks like we're going to continue on And please keep watching the live stream, keep following along as John and I show you what's happening on the ground right now in New York City. There are some good signs. Trans rights are human rights, and the secret of freedom lies... Oh, I missed it. On the other side, we have a nation of sheep ruled by wolves, protected by pigs. That is a good one. So as you can see, if you're on the live stream, the march is entering Central Park right now. We are going down a street with some horse-drawn carriages.
Like they're stopping right there. All right, have the burger.
So it looks like the march is not going that far into Central Park. I think we're stopping very close to the entrance.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 This is what democracy looks like.
We marched. We made it.
Keep going. Keep going. Let's go.
So let's Are we done here, or we do the whole park?
Let's get out of the way. We're going to walk. It's so nice to go. Let's find a nice open area.
The people united will never be defeated. 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 The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
So the march is still moving into Central Park. Not sure how far it's going to go, so stay tuned with us while John and I follow the protesters and see where the final spot is going to be.
That's it.
All right, John and I are investigating. We're going to see which way to go. It looks like a smaller faction of protesters have broken off, and they're making their way down Central Park. And we're going to walk up to the main street and see if we can catch up with the other, like, thousands of people that are out. If you're watching the live stream, this is Ashley with Status Coup, and John Farina and I are on the ground in New York City following the protest that's happening today against, the continuation of climate change, dismantling of all environmental policy, as well as the illegal detainments and deportations of immigrants and pro-Palestinian organizers. And we are currently catching up with the rest of the march. Some faction of protesters splintered off and went down into Central Park, and it looks like the other thousands of people who are out here today protesting have remained closer to the main street.
They're all coming here.
Yeah, another group went into Central Park.
There's not enough people in the space here, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's done.
thee. Though the dog is pounding, don't despair. God help America through this nightmare. Come on, America, stand up to hate. Don't divide us, unite us. You can break us to make us more great. Tell the bigots and the gun nuts, every greedy billionaire, let's make America more free and fair. God help America through this nightmare.
So I suspect that they planned out this alternative version of God Bless America.
Such hateful lunacy. America must stand and fight to save democracy. From rape to felony to fraud to January 6th. The Mega-Millions think you're God. They fall for all your tricks. Disgraceful how you wink and nod. Disgraceful how you lie. But justice always marches on. The truth can never die. Throwing students into jail. Disgraceful inhumane. For Lady Liberty is pale. She bows her head in shame. Amazing strength, it won't be long.
Looks like there are still quite a few people filtering over to this last location, so I think we're going to be idle here for a little bit while people the march starts to catch up over here.
We sing songs in the key of you.
If you want to maybe.
Excuse me, we're with Status Coup News, and we're just walking around trying to get a sense of why everybody's out here today. Would you guys want to talk with us and talk about your great signs? So this sign says, Jewish professor says, free our Muslim students. Would you like to expand on that?
I work at a branch of CUNY. Most of my students are from somewhere else where their parents were. They're frightened, and because they don't always know how to find the right news, so it's on us to help them. And they've done nothing.
Absolutely, and I can't...
Not in our name. We have nothing to do with this. Leave the Jews alone.
Absolutely, and I think especially with all the news coming out, especially with Columbia students right now, I can imagine that they are all fucking terrified. So
I don't know. I mean, but there's always people who are going to be terrified, whether or not it's a good reason. But Jews are sick of it, that we are being used for something that we don't want, and there's not the anti-Semitism that the government is talking about. So we're interested in putting our attention to the people who actually need it.
Absolutely, and I know people who work at Columbia, and I have heard. Right, yeah, but just to say, like, out of Columbia, which has been super high profile, there, as you're saying, there's been this kind of
royal fuck up, and they acquiesced and they shouldn't have. Be like Harvard.
Absolutely. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the student detainments? Any of the other things that could have brought you out today?
Yeah, I'm here for my students, my friends, my neighbors, family who are immigrants or LGBTQ+, and I'm also here for science.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it sounds like it is a very hard time to work at a university. Anyone that I know that works at a university is having a kind of like moral quandary right now. So I applaud you for being out here. Is there anything else that you would want to share about why you're out here specifically as a professor?
I want to share that I think I have enormous privilege as a white cishet non-immigrant born in the country, and I think those of us have to be allies. Those of us with that privilege have a power and have to be allies for those who are not safe right now to be out here.
Absolutely.
She works for Merck, and part of her job is to help people get access to low health care drugs. Where's it going?
Absolutely. Do you have any? You're good? Okay. I appreciate the sign, though. Free Mahmoud, no political prisoners. So yeah, unless you guys have any other thoughts about being out here today, we appreciate it. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Bye. All right. We're going to walk around and talk to a few more people while the march has stopped right at the entrance of Central Park, though it looks like the rest of the march is not actually going in.
I don't know this very well.
Excuse me? We're with Status Coup News. I saw, your sign has two sides. I wanted to see if you could explain to us why you're here and talk about your excellent signs.
Well, the reason why I did it, because we're hanging on a thread. We are in big trouble, and if we don't come out, everybody's got to come out and do this, because it's democracy, it's freedom, it's our liberty. And if we don't have due process, we don't have an America.
Absolutely. So the sign says, no due process, you could be next. And can we see the other side of your sign as well? So,
same thing.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. What do you mean?
It's very good. Well, I mean, we have to be concerned humans. We used to be that way. You know, I miss Sleepy Joe. When we had Sleepy Joe, at least we had empathy and we cared about people. And I believe America feels that way, but we're stuck and people believe the lies. And unfortunately, we have to get back to caring about our neighbors. And that's another important thing, liberty and caring for people, taking care of your neighbor, knowing what's going on. You know, and then look, a tiny sign for a tiny man.
I like that a lot. And
there's a whole bunch of
yeah.
There's so many. I didn't have a big enough sign to put everything that I needed to put on it.
For sure, there's a myriad of issues that we are kind of faced with right now, so it's hard to address them all.
Great signs here. Just looking around just makes you feel better, because every day you listen to, podcasts and all these different things that's going on, and it's so upsetting. But you have to do something. And if you can't do anything, and if you are home, call, do something. Just spread the word.
Considering that we are faced with so many things right now, so, while we are all trying to address all of these issues that you've mentioned, climate change is still happening.
Absolutely. That's the other thing, too. He's taken forests. He just took Hawaii. She told me he gave waters in Hawaii. He's just changing everything. I mean, what does a straw mean? Why would you make something legal again? You know what I'm saying? Like, we were going in the right direction. It's bad enough foreign governments own a lot of our water. We have to stop and take it back and care about the planet, because we don't have a planet and we don't have liberty. We don't have a country.
Absolutely. So we are all out here. There's apparently like tens of thousands of people who did participate in this march today. Where would you want to see this momentum moving? What do you think people should be doing after the protest? You mentioned that, people should be getting involved in some way. What does that look like?
The whole thing is some people can't get involved, but you got to do what you can. And you can't beat yourself up if you can. But if you can come out, even if you come out, like I'm really busy this week. I make fascinators for Easter, and, this is my Christmas. But I had to leave. I had to stop. I haven't seen my husband in a week. But I had to be here because we may not have a country. So you just do what you can, don't get upset, and just stay positive, but do something.
What would you like to see change after this? I'm sorry?
What can I like to see change?
Where do you want to see the country headed? Obviously, we want...
we were headed in the right spot. I mean, America always has... the United States always has issues. I mean, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We always have issues, but if you don't have kindness and you don't have empathy and you don't have freedom, those are the main basic rights, women's rights. I mean, there's so many things that my head is full of, like swimming and thinking about it. But you have to start with the basics. And if you don't have life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice, you have nothing. You need liberty and you need due cause. Due process. It's so important. But these are my friends. I both met them. We're all Etsy people. I met her.
Oh, very cool. Wow. That is excellent. So I'm sorry, you came all the way from Louisiana to be here, or were you already here?
I met her 2 years ago. But we're all makers, and that's another thing too. If you make something in the United States, it's getting harder and harder to make ends meet. The expenses of everything. Yesterday, I talked to a manufacturer in California, and I've been dealing with her for like 25 years. And she said that, one piece that I was purchasing was going up $2.20 each. And she didn't think she was going to make it. They don't know if they could stay in business, because the last couple of months have been horrendous for them, and they're down 50%. She sells to all the garment people, fabrics and trims and stuff. And if a person buys feathers or flowers or trim and can't get the fabric or can't get the thread or can't get the zippers or buttons, she goes, she may not be in business that much longer. I was shocked yesterday. I mean, I know it's hard. I mean, I know I'm down 34% in my business, so it's a lot, and I'm okay to take that hit, but I got to take it for we got to make this place a better place to live.
Absolutely.
Realize is I'm all for made in America. I make everything I can in America, but there's a lot of pieces that you can't, like a lot of components you can't have made here. Like so like people don't understand the subtleties of what goes into a small business. So like if I could make the headband, I would, but it doesn't make any sense. So now the price is going to increase. So people are going to realize that to get things made in America, you're going to have to pay more money. And I'm not sure that America's actually willing to do that. So maybe it's a good lesson that people are going to have to learn what real made in America is and see what happens. Because you need to have a plan, and there's no plan with this administration. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And, part of the promise of the Trump administration, whether you believe it or not, was that he was going to help working people. He was going to bring jobs back here. He was going to bring manufacturing back here, all of that stuff. And as you guys are saying, you are, small business owners.
And you have to get the basis going. You don't just say, I'm going to do it and start with the tariffs. You got to get the buildings ready. You got to get the education ready. You got to have people trained to do those jobs, or in schools or different, tech schools. You got to get everything into place first. You just don't say, okay, well, we're going to do it this way. It takes years to set up a factory.
They actually started to do that. And the people don't even realize that because they're not loud enough about, Trump just BS's everyone, where Biden just does it and doesn't make a big deal about it.
At least he tried.
Right.
That was the whole thing.
I heard they opened a couple of factories that were started under Biden's ideas to get things done, brought back here.
So I guess you guys are basically saying concepts of a plan are not good enough here. You have to have an actual plan that you can put in place when you do start rolling out tariffs, if you are going to do something like that.
Business plan when you start a business. There's no business plan. They're just like, hey, let's do this, let's this. Oh, let's take it back. Oh, let's take those employees back. They're making a lot of foolish mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just swinging it. There's no plan. There's no business plan.
Absolutely. And for, the president who is going to run America like a business, it doesn't seem like that's actually happening.
Businesses that he bankrupt. The 6 businesses he bankrupt.
Well, in that sense, he is definitely running America like a business.
He's done it 6 times before. He's a pro at bankrupting companies.
That is for sure. Do you guys have any other thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers? Do you guys have any other thoughts that you guys want to share with Status Coup viewers before we let you guys go?
Lies. He just flat out lies. I mean, they're going around saying that they won the Supreme Court 9-0. It was the other way around, and they're just lying. They're just lying.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. I hope you have a good time in the city.
We all have to stand together and do what we can.
Absolutely.
Don't lose that right.
For sure. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So John and I are still at the protest, and we're going to keep hanging around talking to people for a while longer.
her to her first protest. She was like 3.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
March is still going.
All right, John and I are going to catch up with the march again. It's still going, which makes sense. It sounds like there were tens of thousands of people here in New York City today protesting, so they are still making their way down, I think, 55th Street. Or, I'm sorry, 59th. And John is going to change his battery real quick, so there will be a brief pause, but we will be right back.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, if you are watching the live stream, this is Ashley with Status Coup. John Farina and I are on the ground covering the protest in New York City just a few days ahead of Earth Day, and it looks like a lot of people were brought out here by the illegal detainments and deportations of immigrants and pro-Palestinian student organizers. John and I are walking around, talking to people and following the march right now. It looks like there's been tens of thousands of people who actually came out today. And we are going to continue to cover this and show you what's happening on the ground right now in New York City. And it looks like maybe some people are getting married right over here near Central Park.
They've been together for 6 years.
Apparently they've been together for 6 years and they are getting married now.
And they resent the idea.
If you are watching the live stream, please like, follow, and subscribe to Status Coup News for more on-the-ground coverage. And if you can, please do consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup for as little as $5 a month. You can do that at statuscoup.com/join. Excuse me? We noticed your sign. Would you mind talking to us about... Oh, it's two-sided. Would you mind explaining your signs?
Sure. You were very eloquent with the Luigi.
Well, I just think that what happened with Luigi Mangione was a shock to our country, and it was a moment where we weren't looking left and right, we were looking up and down and seeing where the real problem was, which was the oligarchy, right? And the rest of us are suffering in so many ways. And I think it shocked our country that people felt that way. So I do think in the future, if this ends as I'd like it to, that will, you know how they talked about the Archduke or whatever for World War I getting shot, that's our moment. That's our moment right there.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. That's my other side, which is we need...
it says manifest a giant aneurysm.
I think we need some big change in order for anything good to happen. Let's just say.
What would you like that big change to look like? A big question.
A big question.
I mean, move further toward what Americans like to call socialism, but just, like universal health care. Put tax dollars to actual work for the government, for the people, basically. I mean, that's where it has to go. So yeah, someone like AOC and Bernie is the direction you want to go.
But the cult has to end. We have to end the cult of people who don't realize they're voting against their own interests directly. They need to be, disindoctrinated, I guess,
Absolutely. And
yeah, like the culture conversations kind of has to be put to the side now, and we have to get back to the economic, back to unions, back to making a living, back to the idea of universal health care. Not the idea, but universal health care, so.
Absolutely. I mean, we at Status Coup are very sympathetic with all of that and in agreement. And I guess what you're saying is, whatever you want to call it, socialism, whatever, it's policies that actually center human beings and use our, and use our tax dollars.
A dirty word is ridiculous. Agree, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact, a coup shouldn't be able to happen. We have to stop treating the Constitution as a Bible and update it like every other modern nation in the world has done, so that we can't have this concentration of power and get to this point now where, we don't know what's going to happen if he defies a court order. We don't know.
Absolutely. And, Absolutely. And, you guys are mentioning that we need to fight the oligarchy, which brings us to, Bernie and AOC, who you've already mentioned. Where do you guys, how do you feel about that kind of movement that's bubbling up, and where do you see that's going? Do you think that it can kind of bring some other people on board who may have voted for Trump, who feel like they are now being left behind?
Yeah, absolutely. I really do think that there's a contingent there that if they see their economic status and well-being and interest being counting, basically being not disenfranchised, then that can pull them. That's the only thing that can. Centrists cannot do it. The Democrats, as they stand now, and as they have been for a long time, are not going to ever bring that crowd. Anybody in that crowd.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Cory Booker and his new kind of following?
I loved what he did. But he's a disciple of Pelosi, which, is great, but he's very moderate to me.
Right.
And unless he sees this as a moment to say, this is how I really feel, if he stays where he is, I liked those 25 hours. I want to know how he didn't pee the whole time. But
I don't need action, and that's good that he provided some action. But no, he's still status quo. He's still status quo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he did the same thing in Newark. He came in as a mayor. Oh, you have my phone, right?
Yeah, I got it.
You probably saw the documentary Street Fight. You were just so excited about him. But once he was in power, he knows to go center again. That's what he does. I like Cory Booker, but I just don't think he could do it. I think he.
You feel like this moment requires more.
Yeah,
it requires
Israel
more.
For the 25 hours. I don't think he did.
And, he spoke for a very long time, but I think it's important to note that he wasn't actually protesting any kind of legislation either, so.
No, yeah. He didn't read Dr. Seuss, I'll give him that, but still. Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate all of this. Do you guys have any other thoughts that you want to share with viewers before I let you continue marching?
Thank you for being here, and thank you for getting it out there, and we can all just be as positive and hopeful as possible, right? Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll still be out here, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this very nice day in New York City.
Awesome.
All right. Bye. Nice meeting you.
Are you guys on Instagram or something? Where can we look you up?
Yeah, you can find us on StatusCoup.com. We are on Twitter, Instagram, all of those places.
Blue Sky?
On Blue Sky as well.
Okay, we're not on Twitter anymore. So.
Gotcha. We are also on Blue Sky.
Okay, awesome. Take care.
All right. Have a good one. Bye. All right, John and I are still walking around. It looks like
we're getting close to Columbus Circle.
Yeah, we are close to Columbus Circle. I guess we're going to follow the march to Columbus Circle and see what happens when we end up there.
Which it doesn't matter.
Thanks for covering.
Oh, absolutely.
You're actually the reason I was able to find where you guys were and where the march was, because...
Would you mind talking with us?
Sure.
Cool. This very nice man was just saying that he found the march because of our coverage, which is very fun. So what else brought you out here besides this coverage?
Because our elected officials have shown that they're effectively incapable. They say, what can we do? And it's very much like the Knicks saying, well, your turn. Like, go ahead, play this game for us. We're down 15 points. So if they're unable to do it, the people have to stand up and do it.
Absolutely. Is there any particular issue that you are personally invested in more so than any others?
I guess it's the fundamental realization amongst the public that there needs to be a ingrained revolution amongst the people. It can't be something that starts from the top and works its way down. It has to come from the grassroots and build itself up and fundamentally change how we're playing the game, because we're clearly not playing the right game and no one's playing by the rules anymore. Why bother with trying to play the wrong game by the rules anymore? We really have to get out there and fundamentally build a movement, a revolution. I mean, as Bernie Sanders started in 2015, building that revolution that fundamentally changes how we approach politics, how we approach governance, and how we basically make a government of, by, and for the people.
Absolutely. That's all really well said. Do you have any thoughts on Bernie Sanders' Fight the Oligarchy tour that seems to be becoming a sort of movement, and whether or not that's going to translate into anything on the ground as far as grassroots momentum?
I absolutely could perceive it turning into a real push for a replacement party, very much in the way that the Whigs were eventually replaced. We could be replacing the Democrats as a fundamental party with a better party that would take over and move forward with actual policies, with actual progress, and most of all, having stuff that's achievable within your your election span, because it doesn't matter if you create a plan that's 5 years out if you're only in office for 4 years or 2 years. You really have to create something that's achievable within your political time period, so you're able to actually build upon that. And yeah, I absolutely could see that forming a new hunger for a new revolution.
Absolutely. Again, that's all really well said. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to share with Status Coup viewers before we let you go continue protesting?
Keep tuned to Status Coup. Yep.
Well, you heard him, so yes, please stay tuned to Status Coup. Thank you so much. This was excellent. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. All right. This is Ashley with Status Coup. I am on the ground with John Farina. We have been covering the protest in New York City that was, organized just a few days ahead of Earth Day and has been largely a protest for, the continued climate change, the destruction of all climate policy, as well as the illegal detainment and deportation of immigrants and student organizers. John and I have been out here for a few hours now. It sounds like there have been tens of thousands of people who joined us in New York City today. We are going to be signing off, but we thank everyone who has been following on the ground with us. If you can, please consider becoming a paid member of Status Coup so that we can keep bringing you on-the-ground coverage of protests and all the things that matter to working people. And you can do that for as little as $5 a month. So please go to statuscoup.com/join. And thank you again for joining us. We will be out here on the ground always. So stay with us, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.